What's up, everybody? Welcome to finally, it happened. We have another R3 cast with special guest down below. That's better. Oh, gosh.
Oh, where'd he go?
Yeah, that's so much better. God. Anyway, with a special guest Coin Crew down below us. Guys, as you know, we like to do this once every other week or so. There are times where we miss for whatever reason. Which was last week, but we are happy to be here with you, of course, with myself, the man right to my side, Mr. Ravenhawk Coins, down below and to the right, Mr. Rob Finds Treasure, and then below, I just don't like this. All right, that's better. And then below,
that's okay. Pick on Keith.
So, Raven, why don't you start us off in saying what's up to everybody?
Hey, like always, glad to be here. Glad we got a guest on the panel for tonight. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk about the craziness of silver. And I got an awesome three-legged buffalo video that I put out earlier today that you guys should check out. Other than that, looking forward to tonight and what happens.
You guys should check that video out, by the way.
It's funny. Normally you see five-legged buffaloes. Go ahead, Silver Seeker.
I was just going to say, let's talk to Rob next. What's up, Rob?
You know what? Raven didn't mention it, so I guess I will. If you guys happen to make it out to the Grapevine Coin Show last weekend and you're in the chat, it was nice to meet a lot of you. Raven and I saw many of you. And for those that missed us, I'm sorry. We'll catch you next time for sure. And it was great hanging out with my bro, Raven. And it's also fun hanging out with Keith and Silver Seeker. And hopefully we have some fun tonight.
Dude, I tell you what, I regret not being able to make it the show in Grapevine, Texas. It was too far away.
We'll do it for everybody.
It was my fault.
You and me.
My fault to drop the ball, but guys, I had an awesome time with Rob. One of the him and Sherlani, the most awesome hosts. It's a trip that I'll never forget, and I can't wait until we do it again.
Thanks, brother.
Definitely. That makes me want to go next time. So, Keith, what's going on with you, man? You're in next.
I'm just buying and selling. We were talking a little bit about people investing in silver, and then it was time to go live. And Rob had mentioned from the age bracket of 52 to 60 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm in that, I'm right there.
I'm only a few years
Don't worry
away.
about it.
I'm only a few years away.
Yeah. So he's got me wondering, should I be worried about it? Probably not. I just keep buying and selling it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guys, you know how we like to do this. When we do these streams, we always like to take your questions and do our best to answer them to the best of our ability. Of course, none of us are licensed financial providers or anything like that, but we will give you our opinions, if you will. I wanted to say educated opinion, but I don't want to speak for everybody, myself included. So that is what we are going to do today. So feel free to ask your questions. I will do my absolute best to put them up on the screen, and we will try and get to all of them. If the chat gets super busy and we miss your question, feel free to repost it, once every other minute or two so that I have a chance of seeing it and getting up on the screen. Of course, as always, we will make a preference to anyone that leaves a super chat. We appreciate those. So thank you. And with that said, let's get started. And we're actually going to start with this one right here. Adams0960 says, how low do you guys think silver and gold will drop? I have an opportunity to put more money into precious metals than I ever have. Want the most bang for my buck. I don't try and predict what silver's going to do. Raven's had a pretty good track record, though. Raven, you want to take this one?
Well, like I said to you guys earlier in the stream, I've been doing pretty well. Honestly, I think we're at pretty much the lowest we're going to see. It might do a little tiny more dip, but I think it's actually going to go back up. And, Keith brought up a good point earlier about how in 2008, the same thing happened. It went down a nice sharp dip and then it shot right back up. So, my money's on it going up. And if you can get it while you can, get it while it's still low.
Awesome. You guys want to add anything to that, Keith or Rob, or?
I'll let Keith take it first. He says he buys and sells a lot, so I'll let him go next.
Okay, well, I'll go. All right, you put me on the spot. I did mention that earlier, but the same thing happened in the 70s and 80s as well. Silver made a spike, not quite so high. It dipped, and then it went way up in 1980 and did it again in 10. And my video basically asked the question, are we at the same spot? Are we at the bottom? I don't know. Nobody can really tell the future, but it does look good from historical standpoint.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
No, I agree. And look at it like this. The price of silver in a 2-year look is only like 40 cents less than it was 2 years ago. If you go back 3 and 4 years ago, it's $3.50 more than it was. So all of the excitement with the Reddit stuff going on, and that gave us a nice short-term win for those that held, and for those that got in late, yeah, maybe you're behind a little bit, but at the end of the day, silver's going to do what silver does. And I think I agree with Raven and Keith. We might see a little bit more of a drop, and I said it on my stream. It could possibly touch the mid to low 18s, but I think historically, and based on where the economy is going, I think it has a lot more upswing. So right now, I'm buying the dip.
Fair enough. Actually, M4A2 Master says, what would you guys like to see it hold at high-wise? I've said in many videos that I think silver should be in the mid-30s value. There's people that slam me for that every time I do a video mentioning that, because they're like, secret silver should be $200,000. But I think realistically, if you look at silver historically, with its value versus like goods and services going back into the 60s, 50s, and 40s even, that 35 puts it around where it should be, even with today's inflation rates. So somewhere in that range. I mean, obviously, there's fluctuations there. So it goes up, it goes down. But, on average, I think somewhere in that low to mid 30s is where it should be. So I'd like to see it get to, $30 an ounce and stay in that area for a while. But the problem is when silver stays stagnant, a lot of people lose interest in it. So, let's have a little bit of excitement with it going up and down there as well. What say you guys?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
As a dealer, you had mentioned when silver goes stagnant, people lose interest. And I do believe that to be totally true, because when it's sideways, nobody's buying, nobody's selling. And as a dealer, I can only make money when it's going up or it's going down. There has to be movement.
Right.
It has to be interest one way or the other.
Gotcha. What do you guys think, Rob? Raven?
The trend that I've seen in recent times is, especially with the online bullion dealers, is they want that sweet mark at about 30 to 35, like Secret mentioned. And once it gets to that point, you'll see the premiums are going to go down as well, because it's not a lot of people out there that want to jump on super high overpriced premiums. And they tend to have that calculation set up where I've gone through the whole premium, too high thing, and you literally watch the premium slide smaller as the silver price goes up, and then get bigger as silver price goes down. So I think if it was, somewhere where everybody was happy, it would bring the premiums to a point that it was more livable, because you're still trying to get that price out of it.
I could, premiums are an interesting thing, because I see a lot of people. I will see comments of every once in a while where, like, the videos where I call around to the coin shops, and then they'll argue the coin shops they need to make a profit. I get that, no one's arguing that point, but I do there are times where I call shops where they are like buying silver eagles for dang near spot, when you could literally go online and sell them. I'm not even talking listing them on eBay, paying the fee, shipping them. Like, if you have BU Eagles, you could ship them out to like some of the big online retailers for $7 over spot. So when you see coin shops that are buying it that cheaply, it just, I don't know, it bothers me.
I wanted to, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of bounced around that a while ago. I said, about the inactivity and stuff, but I never said exactly where I felt silver should be. I think, in my opinion, I think you guys are guessing a little low. I think it could be comfortable at 40, 45, but anything more than 45, I don't see. It's just not possible.
I want to argue that just a smidge with just my perception. And again, this is just my perception. And I'm going to give you some information of why I believe something slightly different. So I do agree. I think silver is undervalued, should be over $30 all day. I think silver personally is positioned to actually increase in value dramatically over the next decade. And here's my reasons for it. With the emergence of Bitcoin and other digital currencies, the United States and other countries have created way more millionaires per month than ever in the history of the planet. As a matter of fact, since the digital technology surge, we've created a lot more digitally advanced systems that need to use gold and silver and platinum and other precious metals. So as the population of the planet grows, as technology demands grow, and as more millionaires are created that want to flaunt and buy things that are silver and gold, precious metal related, I do believe the demand will increase dramatically such that the supply and demand chain will slowly start to pull away and we'll start needing more. And because of the need, prices will go up. I'm not saying that's tomorrow. I'm not saying that's 2 years. I'm saying over the next decade, I firmly believe those of us that are in that 45 to 55-year-old range, if we invest in silver in the dip now, probably have a better chance at seeing and realizing a lot more quicker gains in the next decade. That's just my 5 cents. I'm just a guy like Keith says, but that's my 5 cents worth.
No, it's a good 5 cents, and you make a good point. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, part of the dip isn't even silver, like, trading lower. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong. But the dollar index is insane right now. It's like at 20-plus year highs. And when, that you got to remember that if the dollar is strong, silver is going to be weak, just like if the dollar gets weak, silver gets strong, even if it doesn't trade any differently. So if today a dollar's worth $1 and silver's worth 20, and then tomorrow a dollar's worth 50 cents, without silver changing in value at all, it's going to be $40 an ounce. Yeah. So that's something to consider as well, is how strong the dollar is right now, which is also affecting the price of silver.
Yep.
Keith, you look like you have something to say.
Yeah, Keith Risk in the chat had a comment. He said silver died, besides Constitutional, died with Kodak. I don't think that to be true because, like Rob was saying earlier, there's a lot more emergence coming forward in industrial uses for silver.
And I meant the industrial, yeah, Keith, industrial. Collectability is one thing. Silver stacking, long-term, hedging against the dollar, as well as industrial uses. I think those are the two parts that are really going to push it forward. And like Silver Seeker has always said, silver goes up when the dollar goes down. And the dollar being at one of its strongest, no wonder why silver's down a little bit right now. Of course. Right. And once inflation numbers and everything is realized next year, there's some things that could happen.
Yeah. Fair enough. And then Fireside Coin says, I think that the Fed, if the Fed raises rates, silver and gold will go lower. Just my thought. Who knows for sure? Obviously, no one really knows, but that's a good point. And this next FOMC meeting, they're talking about 75 basis points, so almost a full percent, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot. Taking an average $250,000 home loan and adding an extra percentage onto a 30-year mortgage is tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
More that you will spend on that house. So that is, and that's just one example. Like car loans, everything else are gonna make a big swing as well. So that's something else to look at.
And if you look at some of the way the loans are being refigured, they're heavily loading the interest up front, where you might pay a ton over the first 15 years, and your balance on the home is still almost where it was when you bought it, and you're not paying it down until the end. So there's two things there. Whenever they increase the interest rate, they make you pay the interest up front a lot quicker for their risk assessment. So it's a double hit.
Right, for sure. So here's a comment here. Arch says, the cost of premiums discourage me a lot, but I try and find the cheapest silver I can and try and get 50% Australian junk silver for how cheap it is and how low the premium. What do you think about, so the reason I wanted to put this up here, I've kind of been scrolling up and down, but coming back to this one, and I'll ask Keith specifically. One thing I've noticed is once you look under like 90 or even 80% Canadian silver, once you get that purity under that mark, if it's something that's going to be refined, the refinement costs go up. Do you think that affects the price of that silver as well?
Yes, I do. There's cost involved in everything. When you take the time and you refine it, that's going to cost. However, the premiums, I don't think the premiums should discourage you from buying silver, because silver is what silver is. People, dealers, customers, they're all going to pay a certain price. And like Seeker said earlier, if a dealer is buying it too low and selling too high, he's just ripping you off, basically. But I don't think buying Austrian junk is the good way to go, because when you go to sell it, you might not get as much for it. You could save a few dollars, but I don't think you're going to save as much as you think you're saving.
So, Alan, now I ask this to Rob and Raven as well with this same question. So you buy a bunch of it and you get it a lot cheaper, and then silver skyrockets. Would it not be better to then just have more silver? So let's say you're able to get 3 ounces of, the Australian stuff instead of 2 ounces of pure. If silver goes to 50, would it not be better just to have 3 ounces instead of 2 ounces?
Go ahead, Rob. You can go first.
Is that your question that both of
Yeah.
us answer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Even though it's 50% pure. Would you rather have 3 ounces of silver at 50? Keep in mind, I'm talking about 6 total ounces. I'm talking about 3 ounces actual silver weight of 50%.
I got you.
Yeah.
For sake of storage, my safe space, I'd rather have the most pure silver since it's already space constraining. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I'd rather have that. But if the question is with the cost of premiums, would I be a lot better to find the cheapest silver I can? It depends on what you're getting when you look at the price for if it was pure silver. If I can get 50% junk at spot price, it might be better to do that if I can eventually move it to trade up. But if you're selling it to a dealer who's going to have refining costs and they've got to buy it below spot, then I don't think, like Keith said, I don't think that makes a lot of sense because costs are costs. Somebody's going to eat the cost. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the person buying it. It's you who's selling it. You're the one who's going to eat the cost.
Right.
So to answer your question, I'd rather have silver in its most purest form. And whenever I have found good deals on whether it's 72% silver or whether it's 50% silver or 40% silver, I usually only buy it if it fits my budget and with the intent of one day trading it up for a more pure silver. Unless it's constitutional, I'll never trade that up typically.
Hey guys, really quick, I want to before we move on, Silver Swanner, I just saw that you had an 18-month Seeker fan shout out. Thank you so much. Says Home Run Derby and Pujols will go to 0. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
Guys, do me a favor. The channel member shout outs are fantastic, but anyone who's been in StreamYard knows that the StreamYard chat, which is what I have to pay attention to, so I can click and pop the messages up. For some reason, those don't display. Super chats display, but the channel member shout outs, like monthly shout outs, do not display there, so I may miss it. So I would hold those for a regular stream. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
I may miss it.
I was just going to do it.
I mean, you feel free to do it, but I don't care about yours anyway. We can just get rid of you, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like I'm falling off the face of the earth here.
There you go. So exactly what Rob said. Of course, you're going to want the pure silver, more often than not. When I'm buying lower content silver, those coins, I'm looking at it for their numismatic value of a foreign coin 9 times out of 10. I'm not looking to stack 50%, 72%, per se. But with that said, you got to be careful, like Rob said, with the amount that you're trying to store in a place. It builds up really fast, and sometimes that's when you have to make the decision too of like, okay, do I now convert this to gold if the ratio is at the right point? There's some other things that I think fall into it. But you can do pretty well with going with certain foreigns and getting a lower premium, but that is starting to not be the case. There's a lot of coins out there now that even U.S. dealers are understanding the value in the foreign coins and the numismatic value to them. So, get it while you can is what I think.
Fair enough. All right, so guys,
Oh, I was just going to say, touching base on what he said about the foreign. Yeah, I totally agree because more people, even I caught on a little bit better about the collectability of it. I don't even sell it for junk silver anymore. I just put it in auction, let people pay what they want to pay.
So next up, Best Pigeons asked, why is junk silver not dropped in price? I was paying $20 per dollar when it was spot was 24 to 26. And right now, what is it? It is getting a little bit lower, I've noticed. A little bit.
It's supply and demand in a lot of areas. But I'll tell you something, in my local area, I have one dealer selling it for literally 17 to 18 times face and another one selling it for 24, 25. It depends on the shop that you go to, the overhead that they're looking at. There's a lot of factors into why it's that way. And then the online dealers, they just try to keep it, 20 times face plus as much as possible.
So here's a question, Raven, since you have those two shops so far apart, do they both keep it in stock, or does the one selling it for 24, 25 have more?
The one that has the higher price has more, of course.
Right. So the one, the 17, 18, does he have it in stock, or is he sold out a lot?
He sells out a lot.
Yeah.
And that's logical.
Yeah.
And word gets around. Here's the thing. The coin community, even though it's large, it's still very small in some ways, where there's a lot of talk that goes on with everybody in the background, especially, in one state where you'll run into the same guy at the shop that you were just at an hour later at the next shop that you went to. And you both look at each other and go, you see this price? This is ridiculous, and then you'll stop going to that shop and word gets around,
Right. Fair enough. So let's see. I'm sorry, I was listening. Sue Brown asked if I still have that St. Raphael with the stained glass. I do. I did a short on that last night. It's literally right here. That's a really cool coin. You guys hadn't seen that yet.
There was a comment said the high price shops always have it in stock. Not true. I'm not what you would call high price, but I look at the dealer wholesale sheets and I sell it for what they will pay me, and I have it in stock plenty. That's the issue. If you got dealers out there going to pay you 18.8 times face, why do you want to sell it less than like 19?
Right. That makes sense. So you can ship it for 18.8. Why would you sell it for 19?
That could be why your guy that is selling for 17, 18, why he keeps running out, because somebody keeps buying it off and then shipping it out. That's possible.
That makes sense.
Well, I know that the place that's selling it for the higher amount is making a killing because they're buying it at 14, 15 times face.
That's ridiculous price at today's market. Yeah. But 17, 18, I mean, I would be tempted to, if it wasn't so far away, to go down and get it.
Yep.
Because that's what I've been paying people walking in.
Adam says, another question, if possible, do you think it's better now to buy rounds, bars, or coins? I think it depends on what you're buying. The only thing I am staying away from personally is Eagles. I'm still buying your lower price semi-numies like Maples, Philharmonics, Britannias, things like that. And of course, I'm still buying rounds and bars. The only coin I'm really staying away from is Eagles. And it's just because Eagles, especially the BU rolls of Eagles, they are made to be stacked. They're not made to be collected. So like this thing right here, you buy one of these and you add it to your collection. This isn't bought for a stack. Eagles aren't at least BU Eagles are not intended to be for that purpose, but the premiums on them are so high that it almost seems like, you know what I'm saying? I can't justify it. But everything else I'm still buying. Anyone else?
I'm staying away from Eagles as much as I can. However, I was forced because I completely ran out and I don't like ordering them less than 100 count lots. So I had to buy some.
Right.
I mean, if you want to buy for a stack and just stack silver, you can go get some 10-ounce bars or even kilo silver bars, and you're almost barely paying above spot because it's when you start factoring in, like if silver's at $19, you probably can go find a 10-ounce bar for $190 or $200 roughly. I mean, you probably can find it. So I typically, if I'm buying for my stack, I'll go buy a bar. But I don't buy a lot for my stack. I like to buy, I tend to want to buy coins just because I like to hold it. And a 10-ounce bar is not going to be something I'm holding. It's going to be sitting in a safe. Fair
enough. So this one's way off, a little bit off. It says, what do you guys think about the China government restricting people's accounts? Do you think it could happen here? I don't want to tell you what I would think about it because we'd probably get banned on YouTube, but I will tell you that I don't think it could happen here because there would be a revolt like you've never seen. I don't know. What do you think, Raven?
I don't even touch politics.
This ain't a political question. This is not a political question. Just the question is, do you think that the government could restrict?
The government could do pretty much what they want, but then, like you said, it would cause some very big issues. I think it would get people out of their seat, finally protesting and, doing things that you haven't seen in a mass movement in, 45, 50 years now.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's about what I want to add to it.
Fair enough. All right. So I like this. This is just a comment. Gary says the dollar may be strong versus other currencies, but it certainly isn't strong at the grocery store and at the gas pump. That is accurate.
Yeah,
it is definitely. Although we have seen gas prices come down a little bit. They're like they came from $4.90 to like $4.30 where I am in the last couple of weeks. That's been good to see. Hopefully it continues.
$4.54, buddy.
Oh yeah. It's crazy that we're getting excited about $4.50 gas. Like, oh sweet.
Hey, I got $3.85 at Costco yesterday.
I might have
Nice.
to retire in Oklahoma.
Under $4
$3.85.
a gallon.
When we moved here, fuel was $1.75 a gallon. You
Right.
know? And then when it went over $2, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" You know.
And I remember. Oh gosh, right after me and my wife got married, it hit $1.88 near where we were, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Oh man, can you imagine if it were $1.88 now? We'd all be happy. We'd be
Oh, God,
dancing.
dancing in the street, you know.
Right.
And
I hate
there's
to date
no-
myself, but I remember gas being a quarter.
Hey,
Don't
I
remember
remember
that.
it being $1. And
I don't
once it
remember
broke
that. I don't remember a quarter. I've never experienced it under like
I was a
$1.20.
little kid, and I was sitting in the backs.
Wait, that's a lie. I have experienced it under $1.20. April 2020, May 2020, Mrs. Seeker and I had to get out of the house. It was during all the lockdowns and everything. And we were driving around, and I stopped at a gas station that had it for 79 cents.
They're having an anniversary sale.
No, it was just, nobody was driving. So the demand was,
During lockdown. Yeah.
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 I was sitting in the back of my brother-in-law's car, and it was actually 28 cents. I'm sorry. That's close enough to say quarter. And I just happened to glance over, and I don't know why I have this memory. It's been with me for years.
right.
In the back of a station wagon, and it was before that that stuff in late 70s, that Iranian Contra scandal.
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah. The Iran-Contra scandal.
It was before that.
Yeah, and then gas jumped up, and there were lines down the street, and they were running out of gas at the gas stations. That's a pretty gnarly historical thing. I'm a history buff, so I read a lot. And, it's happened before. Gas will go back down, it'll go back up. It's just a cycle like everything.
Hey, I just wanted to say hi to Coin Help You. I didn't realize he was in the chat. What's up, man? And he said hello to Doug Wagoner, which, Doug, I need you to send me an email, please, silverseeker@coolstacks.com. So Stephen Biz says, I feel like the price is plummeting because there's too much silver to go around. It doesn't feel like a rare metal when financial institutions are hoarding it and anyone can buy as much of it as they want. I'm not even going to touch this one. I want one because I talk a lot at the beginning of all these. I will let you guys go with this one. No? Raven? Rob? Keith? No?
I mean, that's more of a statement, an opinion than a question, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a statement, yes, but what do you feel? Do you think that way? I mean,
I don't even think silver price is plummeting. I think silver prices just got back to the actual value of where it was before all the hoopla. So
Yeah.
I don't know about plummeting. I mean, it never
All right.
it went up artificially, and it's come back to reality. So plummeting is I said it before we even went live. I don't even know what that I don't see it plummeting. And there's a lot of titles out there. Silver's crashing, silver's plummeting. No, it's not. It's ahead of where it was 3 and 4 years ago, and it's barely behind where it was 2 years ago.
So my apologies. I was actually focused on the second part of the statement, not the first one. We had already touched the first part of the statement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's totally okay. So this part, he says, it doesn't feel like it's a rare metal when financial institutions are hoarding it. Anyone can buy as much as they want.
If
Well,
financial
you can't.
institutions are hoarding it, you can't really buy as much as. I mean, ask 50% of the population out there that don't have access to an LCS or a silver dealer buy them. They can't go get it easily. So
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone being able to get it. I think certain people have more of it than others, of course. And I think there are. I mean, how much did China load up on it? We can go into that conversation. So, but I really think that I don't think you can get as much as you want, but I do think it's a precious metal because it has industrial uses, has collectability uses. It's been bartering as monetary money for centuries. So
And speaking,
I think it'll always have value.
And speaking, you said industrial uses, and something I'll point out. Someone earlier had said, I had saw when I was scrolling through the comments, that silver died with Kodak or something like that. I don't think you believe. It's amazing how many technologies use a lot of silver that weren't around during Kodak's heyday. I'm just saying, like solar panels, EVs, like electric vehicles have twice as much silver as a gas car does, just for example.
And a lot more people are going to self-sustainability, and more people that delve into self-sustainability are going to need solar panels and things like that, and EVs. And people want to be off grid, or they don't want to depend on Uncle Sam less. Silver is going to be used a lot more, and while it may not feel like it may feel like it's abundant today, I'm telling you, in 10 years it might not feel so abundant.
100%. So let's see. All right. So Scallywag Don says, question: from your experience in travels, do you find that certain regions LCSs to consistently pay more than other regions? I can ask this without traveling. It does not matter. I have called two shops in Virginia that were so far apart it wasn't even funny. And then I'll call Texas, and there's two shops apart, like so far apart in prices that it's not even funny. There may be local, like more local regions, but as far as like mass regions of the country, which ones pay more and which ones pay less, I couldn't tell you. And then I actually did one video. This was a couple of months ago where I gathered the data from shops in two-party consent states, but I couldn't record the calls because whenever I do those videos, I'm only legally allowed to record if it's a one-party consent state. But I did a video where I called the shops and got the data, but I couldn't record the conversation. So you just had to take my word on it. I gave you the information. And even in like California and Oregon and places like that, again, there may be local regions where, all right, it's low South Oregon's, it's better than North. But as far as, like mass parts of the state, West, East, South, Northwest, whatever, no, it's all over the place everywhere. It just depends on where. And yes, I have called the shop in Alaska, Fireside Coins. I have. Yes. I saw him ask that on the right side. What about you, Raven? I saw you shaking your head. Do you have a different opinion there?
I've seen prices all over the board.
Right.
You go one place and like I said earlier, just in Oklahoma, you got a dealer at 17, 18 times face, another dealer at 23, 24 times face for constitutional.
Right.
One dealer that's here in Norman, he is consistently $3 or $4 higher per ounce on the spot price than any other dealer within a 100-mile range,
Right.
And then I've seen really good deals in some southern states, and but it depends on where you're at. I mean, there's times that shops have a sale for a certain reason. They're trying to get cash flow in and whatnot. So you might go to a shop and do really well, come back 6 months later, and the prices are completely different. They might even have a new owner, and then you're just kind of like, I got to start all over again. But it does vary. But there is a lot of regions that are, all the shops talk to one another and kind of try to keep their prices pretty close to one another to help keep the market healthy in their region.
Right. Fair enough. What about you two? Anything to add to that before I read this super chat here?
I have nothing to add.
All right.
I mean,
Cool.
He said it all pretty much.
So I just want to call out Manny C. Says, thanks for all your efforts, gentlemen. Great stuff. Thank you for that $5 super chat. I definitely appreciate it. You were awesome, good sir. Let's see. I have to scroll back up now. I had to scroll down for that.
It's
Oh my
hard.
goodness,
keeping
I'm
track
all
of
over the
the
place.
chat.
Huh?
It's hard keeping track of the chat.
It is, especially when we got 350 people watching. So it goes really fast. There's a lot of chat to go through. So I apologize, guys. And I know I've missed a lot of questions. Again, feel free to repost them. So, Keith, tell me a little bit about, while I'm looking through these comments, tell us a little bit about what you buy and sell like silver for in your shop. Because I had mentioned in other videos, I had shops where, one guy was basically offering spot for Eagles. I mean, so how does it work with you?
I'm offering like $6 over on Eagles.
Okay.
But again, I'm $2 over what it costs me to replace them just because of the replacement cost. If someone needs to order them, let's say they want 100 Eagles and I have to order them in, that's going to be about $12 over. In the times of high premium, shops do make more money, but it's not because they're being greedy. It's because they're being cautious.
Okay.
Now, there is stuff like 90%. I don't worry about that so much. I pay 17 plus times. I sell for about 19 times. So I'm pretty close on the cost of that.
Right.
Again, it's like anything else, supply and demand. The supply of my 90% is fluid. The demand is not as fluid because I refuse to sell it for less than I can ship it for. So it starts building up. And there's times where I'll run out and I'll say, hey, I need some. And I'll pay as much as my wholesaler will pay just to get it in.
Right.
But yeah, silver rounds is I'm still plus $2. I don't have a problem paying plus $2 because you're getting plus $4. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at a comment I saw on the right side of the screen. Link said, when are you going to get a good looking lady instead of another ugly guy? Hey, listen. So Matt Deckard says, can we all agree that Britannias have taken the place of Eagles just out of want for security and price? What do you think about that? So the Britannias definitely have like really good security features, certainly better than the little missing knock on the reed of a Silver Eagle. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I don't think so.
No one. Do you like the Britannia? Do you know anything about the Britannia security features, Keith?
Yeah, it's got that little like sun thing about 7 o'clock.
No, the Britannia, they have it's not a sun. It's a
in
trident.
the place of where the Silver Eagle sun is. It's at the 7 o'clock, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but it's a trident.
Yeah.
And then it had the wavy background and other, And what do you think about the missing reed on a Silver Eagle as a security feature? Let me ask you that.
Stupid.
Okay.
What can I say? What do you think, Raven?
To be honest, I mean, it is something that if you know what you're looking for and exactly where it's at, it's like right down there. It's an easy find for a security feature, but anybody like, China and other countries can reverse engineer that super easily compared to, what Britannias have done. So I think it is kind of a stupid security feature, but at least they're trying to do something. I think that in the behind the eagle, they should have done something, a pattern that would be hard to replicate. That would have been a little bit more smart than a missing reed.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Rob? What do you think about the missing reed?
I agree. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the gold and silver bars have some kind of internal or holographic feature. You'd think that that'd be more of something that they would invest in. Of course, I'm sure the price would be affected, and the only thing they could do, because they can't mark those things up anymore, is they would have had to eat some of the profit on it. So that's why they didn't do that. They're like, hey, let's take a read off instead.
Right. Guys, we have a $50 super chat from Plumber Stacker. Holy smokes.
Very nice.
He said, so cool to see Keith live with you guys. He was one of the first I followed when I started stacking, and the first auction I bought from too. Plumber Stacker, thank you so much for that. That is really cool. We are glad to have Keith with us. Keith, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I saw something else. I tell you what, I want to switch it up, though. Let's get off of silver because I think we're kind of beating a dead horse at this point. We've already covered as much as we can. Okay. Raven and Rob, we're going to go to you guys. Tell us about the coin show you were just at.
Well, I had said that I'd seen some silver quarters at Melt, and I saw some 10-ounce silver bars, and I was getting hammered in the chat from a few people saying, oh, no, wholesale's this, or no, you can't find them for that. I saw them with my own eyes. And, yeah, you would argue that another dealer would probably run over and go grab those types of deals because they're buying it at wholesale prices at that point. But this show was packed, elbow to elbow. Matter of fact, we had a young guy there named Tyler. And Tyler, if you're watching, awesome. If not, then I'm sorry. But he was running around and he showed me a dealer that was literally pricing a lot of his junk silver at Melt. And I'm talking $3.25 for a quarter the day of the show. And I think Melt is $3.38 today. So there was a lot of good deals at those shows. That's why I've always said you got to look. And he was cherry picking every single table, grabbing as many things as he could. And if you just look, you will find. And I think some of the guys in the chat were right. If you, you'll see a lot of dealers. I'll see a guy that has a table, all of a sudden leave his table and go somewhere else and then buy that guy's stuff and come back to his table. Usually it's supply and demand. He's got somebody that's asking and he knows where he saw it and he'll go get it and resell it. But there were some steals and deals, and I don't know why there were so many steals and deals at the show. I think because it was so many tables and so many people, there were some lost leaders, if you will. If I have a bin of $20 worth of face value, or not face value, Melt value quarters, I have a little pile of people in front of me, and maybe I'm selling more things. But it was a fun show for me. I spent a little more money than I should. Raven exercised some restraint on a few things he saw, but just hanging out with Raven and probably 15 to 20 others that either watch the channel or have their own channels was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. And like Rob said, there was a lot of good deals to be had. I bought some coins, for my personal stack that you'd see one dealer at $275 for this coin, go over to another guy and he's at $165.
Crazy.
So the prices were big difference in some areas. You could get some stuff at melt or close to melt that, we saw. We picked up some really nice proof sets right at the end that for cheap, cracked them open, and they're cameo and everything in this late 60s, early 70s, because we were looking for 68, 69 and 70s, and cracking those out of the thing and seeing that they're cameoed and going, well, dang, this ain't going to be given away. I'm going to turn that in and hopefully it gets a good grade. That's something that's awesome, to find. And there were also, for somebody that has deep pockets, that show was amazing. For some of the things that we saw there were just unbelievable. Everything from, proof, barber quarters and half dollars, $18,000.
We're talking graded PF 68, 67. We're talking top poppers or close to it.
Yeah. There was a guy that had, not everybody's a fan of toning, but I love toning. And this guy had some of the most insane tone stuff that I'd ever seen, all in PCGS and NGC slabs. So, they're legitimate.
Those walkers. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those state walkers that were like rainbow toned and I mean, like proof 67, 68 walkers that were rainbow toned. Ridiculous.
Yeah. There was one gentleman, we walked by his table. He didn't even acknowledge Rob.
He didn't look at us. He saw bandanas like they can't buy for me. He had nothing in his case under $3,500. Nothing.
Exactly.
So you just didn't acknowledge it. You just like, these guys don't have the money for me.
We walked up to his table. He did one of these. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been pretty busy. That kind of thing.
That's funny.
We were not on his radar. And, actually in a couple instances, there was a couple times where I'd be at a dealer, and I think because I got long hair and a goatee and everything, that sometimes they look at you and go, oh, you don't got no money. At one table, I had a guy that was working for a dealer. He like squeezed me out of something that I was literally about to grab and buy, because I showed Robin, I'm like, look at that, man. I want to get some Mexican silver that I wanted. And once I felt like I was being pushed, I looked at the dude, I just walked right away, but 99.9% of the dealers there were very nice, very interactive.
He was the helper of that guy at that table. Remember? It's like he didn't trust you handling the merchandise.
Yep. Exactly. So that was a funny experience, but man, the variety. You could have walked into that building with a briefcase of money and walked out with no money easily.
But a briefcase full of goodies.
Oh God. Yeah. There were some things there that I really still have no buyer remorse, like something that I regret not buying. And Rob was right there. I had a Thrickle in my hand that was a proof, and I kept, nope. I walked away, and sure enough, I'm sitting here today going, I should have bought it.
If it's any help, don't worry about having remorse on that. Those are very hard coins to move. Proof Thrickles.
That's because they're expensive, and not everyone really collects them, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a precious.
They want
metal.
the silver ones.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
How do you guys feel about being stereotyped?
To me, that's that person's loss. And in this day and age, there's, to give you an idea, we didn't pull up in had the guy see us outside when we pulled up in the vehicle we were in, he'd have talked to us all day long. But he didn't. He judged us based on bandanas, long hair, goatees, beard, the whole nine, and I would think in this day and age, there'd be a little bit more leeway and understanding, because I walked to the next table and I pulled out a wad of 20s, and one dealer went, looked over like, what the, because of that same kind of thing.
I just think I think it's funny. It reminds me so much of a video I watched a while back where this millionaire dude dresses up in bum clothes and goes into a Lamborghini dealership to see if they will even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny.
Tina's in the chat. She was at the show and she said, LOL, you all do look a little sketchy. And she tagged it.
Good to see Tina. She's an awesome lady. We had a lot of fun with her.
Hey guys, we got a $5 super chat from Mark Mistretta. Says, knock knock, who's there? Smash that like. Thank you so much, Mark, for the $5. That is awesome. I saw a comment that I wanted to address. I thought, let's see if I can find it again and scroll down. But here we go. He says, I think the conversation Owen is talking about, and this is going back to silver, I apologize, is about the fact that dealers who bought thousands of ounces at $25 an ounce can't drop their prices below 28 or 22 times face. The end buyer always loses. Is that really true, though, Keith? Because as long as you can replace it, so that's what I was going to say. So this is my experience. As long as you can replace it, it doesn't matter. If you buy 1,000 ounces of silver at $100 an ounce, and then silver drops to $25 an ounce, as long as you have a source to buy it cheaper than what you sell it for. So if someone walks in, you sell it to them for 28, then you can buy it back for 25. You still have the same silver and you still have the difference. So it's not that they can't sell it. It's not like they just put it into the bottom of the safe and ignore it's there, right?
The only time that statement would hold true is if the dealer who bought that 1,000 ounces for $25 does not have a wholesale distributor, but he can still sell it at his 25 just by going to buy it off another dealer and maybe make 50 cents or $1. But he doesn't have to sell it for 28. But like Seeker said, and I am connected with wholesale distributors. If silver dropped $5, I drop my price $5. I have kilos on the way when spot was $20 and I still don't have them. But when I get them, I've got to drop the price.
Right.
I mean, I got the 20 plus the premium.
So if you sell them, what will you do? Just order them again?
I'll order them again.
Right. So you're the only time you really lose in that situation is if you just go out of business and you're selling everything, right?
No, then you don't lose because you made all the money up to that point.
You get my point, though. You get my point, though.
Yeah. You don't make the money of the profit of the individual item. Your profit is made on the replacement cost.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Right. Fair enough.
That helped.
Going back to the show, I like Katie. She says, you can't judge a book by its color. In my area, there are a lot of extremely rich farmers. They bum around the city in dirty overalls and boots and ride around in old beat-up farm trucks. I know a guy specifically like that. He lives in this old shanty shack on like 50 acres of land. It's all his own land. He lives right in the center of it. And the house that he built, he couldn't be worth more than 10 grand, right? The land's worth a ton more. The guy dresses in old clothes, drives an old, 60s, 70s era pickup that he repairs himself. And he has hundreds of ounces of gold buried in a safe, buried in his yard. It's like, you know what I mean?
I had a farmer like that used to be a customer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we did a show when Mike and I was together, South Bend, Indiana. We did a show. Every show, once a month, that guy would come up with 10, 20 grand, buy gold and silver. It was the only reason that show was worth going to.
Right.
It was a slow show. After he left, we cut out every time.
Right. So here, Link, this one, actually, we'll put this at you. Silver Seeker, most people don't realize how little the average coin dealer actually makes off of a coin. So if we're talking specifically about numismatic coins, is it not different? So let's say you're buying a coin that doesn't move very easily. You're going to pay less for that than a coin that moves quickly because you can turn around and sell it quickly. So let's say someone brings in a really hot coin, like a celebrity coin that 1,000 people are looking for. What sort of profit margin do you try and make off of something like that? Percentage-wise?
5-10%.
5-10? Okay.
You'll pay 100 to 110% for it because you can sell it over.
Right. So let's say a coin walks through that's a valuable coin, but there's not a whole lot of people looking for it. You're going to sit on it for a while. What do you do on something like that?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. 60 to 85, maybe 90% tops. If you're lucky, depending on how the coin looks and what it is.
Right. So some coins, you'd only pay 60 to 70% of its value because you can't sell it. So you'll need to make more on it because it's going to.
Yeah, because the problem is if you're not going to sell it, you could hold it for 1 or 2 years. And during that 1 or 2 year period, it could drop. And right. I have had coins where I've bought them at 60 and 70%. And they've actually dropped lower than I paid for them.
Right.
I not only lost the actual dollar, but then I lost the rate of inflation too. But that's the risk of being a coin dealer.
Makes sense.
If you want to sell coins, buy coins that are in demand. Don't buy coins that are not in demand unless you really want it for your collection.
Fair enough. All right, so I didn't mean to get back into silver there, so I do apologize about that. Let's go back into coin shows. We actually have one coming up here that we're going to be at here in a couple of days. Ain't that right, Keith?
Yeah. Missouri State, I believe.
Yeah, Missouri State. I thought it was SLNA that puts the July one on. Anyway, in Missouri next week, Or later this week, there's a coin at the St. Charles Convention Center that we'll be walking around on Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be there Thursday.
Okay. So that'd be fun to look forward to. We'll have to bring you a report from that. Let me get back to Rob and Raven. I haven't let them talk very much for the last couple of seconds.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. So I had a question and it just left me. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot the question I was just about to pose to Robin and Raven. Robin and Raven, start talking.
Hi.
I gotta remember the question. I'm gonna let you guys take it.
Was there any other questions in the chat or something we may have missed recently?
I'll scroll while you were talking. That's why you guys got to talk.
Well, then I'll just say that it was a lot of fun having Raven over at my house. For those who don't know, Raven drove down to my house. I'm only like 3 hours away. He drove down to my house. He stayed at my house. He wanted to crash on the couch, but I was like, no, I got my guest room you could stay in. So he stayed there. We had dinner. We hung out at the show. He actually live streamed with me on Friday night. So good seeing Raven. One-on-one time was a lot of fun. And he was ready to leave, though. Come Saturday afternoon, he's like, hey, I'm going to eat and leave. And I'm like, all right. And to top it off, he forgot a belt, and he borrowed mine, my favorite belt, and he took it home. And I'm like, you didn't even wear pants that day, which means you packed it on purpose. I know what he's doing.
I needed a special Rob Finds treasure for my collection, you know. I put it in the background. I got Rob's belt. Man, we had an awesome time. And honestly, when I was driving home, I was like, man, you know, I could have stayed and watched the movie. But then the next day I had to drive in the heat of the sun. We're going to hang out again. It's going to be a great time because Rob is, I can't say it enough, I'm just a really, really good dude, a true bro. And, you know, we had a lot of great conversation, great food. Sherlani, his wife, is one of the sweetest women I've ever met. She has such a big heart. And matter of fact, one of the things that impressed me the most is she's nice enough to keep bottled water and socks in her car if she sees somebody that's homeless walking down the street and thinks that much about her fellow man. And I was just super impressed by that.
Yeah, I tell her by the time they get those bottles of water, they're hot, but at least they have clean, brand new socks. But she has socks rubber banded to water bottles. Whenever she's a homeless person, she puts it out the window to give them. So, yeah.
I like Natalie's comment that I just pinned here.
He steals one thing.
That's how he rolls.
Wow.
Hey, here's something we actually talked about before the stream. Link wants to know if the turnaround for graded coins have improved yet. I have a submission that I put in a couple of months ago that I haven't seen anything on. What about you guys? Why don't you share your experiences right now?
I submitted on, as a matter of fact, I brought the paperwork home today because I was going over it. 4/27, what is that, April 27th? And they just finally posted the grades, but they didn't say they shipped. For one, that was the economy, but not the 5 coins. That was the regular. So
yeah, my regular, Keith and I were talking about that because he said he just got his grades back from 4/27, and I have a great order out there from 4/21, but mine was regular, not economy. So the economy, I guess, is quicker than the regular.
And you know what? We all shipped around the same thing. And the strangest thing is I've gotten 3 single coins back, yet they still have 8 coins in grading, a couple more different ones because I submitted all at the same time. They got there like the 18th or 19th of April, so just a little bit before. And, you know, it's just kind of weird how you sit in a group and they're piecemealing you one coin. And I'm like literally stressed out waiting to know what these grades are.
That's funny. Guys, I want to call out really quick J-Dog with the 5. He says, hey, Silver Seeker, Ravenhawk Coins, Rob Finds Treasure, and Coin Crew. Thank you so much, my man J-Dog, for that super chat shout out. That is awesome. We appreciate it.
Hey, Seeker, am I the only person in the chat with the 4-year badge?
I'm not looking at that chat screen, so I don't know, but I only have a few people with it. Let me
I don't mean to shout myself out, but I've been looking for everyone. I'm like, am I the only person with? Is there anyone else? Is there no one else? Can somebody else show the SS new 4-year badge with me?
you have been abandoned.
My 4-year badge members are Papa K, Nickel Nations, Corey, Bandit, BC Mike, Mr. Balls, Rob Finds Treasure, and Nan W. That's it. Just
That's
8.
it. Look at us. The elite 7, I guess, or 6. I didn't hear all the
8.
names, but
8 total. That's
Boy,
amazing.
How close am I to that, Seeker?
Ravenhawk coins, you
Yeah.
are 45 months. So that list was the top 8 Raven. Whitney is number 9, Flies is 10, and you're number 11. So
Hey, that's not bad.
you're almost there.
Where's Keith at on that list?
He's not even on this page.
I'm not even 2 years in. We just 2 years on July 13th.
Man, I tell you what, guys, I appreciate all
Me
that
too.
support, though. That means the world.
Hey, and
to
I'm
you
even
guys.
wearing my Silver Seeker shirt. This is the 2-year shirt.
Yeah, I don't even have those anymore.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I got a Silver Seeker mat, but no shirt.
He should have. There should have been something for 4 years.
Oh, I mean, the 4-year badges just came out. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it.
Well, I'm just saying, when I hit 4 years, if I don't see a Silver Seeker hand pour, I'm canceling, man. I'm canceling.
Silver Seeker hand pour.
Hey, Billy Smith confirmed it is Missouri that's putting it on this time. So I know SLNA does another one out there. I always get mixed up which one's
the
when.
Hilton. There's a Hilton one by
That's
the
gotta be
airport. The one where I got this sign from that sits behind me at the shop.
Yeah.
Tell nobody I took it.
Matt says challenge coin at 5 years. That'd be cool. I should do a 5-year challenge coin. That would be neat. That'd be neat to do that.
I've got a bunch of challenge coins still sitting in inventory. I might just use those for 4 years.
I just thought about that. I don't have a Silver Seeker T-shirt.
He did it for only like a few months, and I happen to be one of the first.
I'm gonna order one.
The first people always get the goods.
Yeah, I did the first like 10 people that made it to 2 years. I sent them all a shirt.
Yeah,
And I literally bugged him to death to get one.
I need to do something for like all 4 or 5 year members. So I really do, like for all of them. So maybe I'll do something. That'd be a lot of fun.
Link says, Rob, stop kissing up. You're not getting his gold Lambo.
Do not have a gold Lambo.
Come on, Seeker. 5 years gold Lambo, please.
Oh, that guy who dressed up as a bum and walked into the Lambo dealership. That was me, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you guys don't have any made out of gold anyway, so it's too poor of a place for me. I got to get out of here.
Matt Deckard said a Silver Seeker shirt costs 10 ounces of silver.
Hey, if someone wants to send me 10 ounces of silver for a shirt, I will not say no. I'll send you some other stuff along with it. Hey, you know what's funny though? We were just talking about bringing up Lambo, and we were just talking about how long PCGS has taken to ship stuff out, and it's funny because it's everywhere how long everything's taken. Like PCGS is really far behind, and I know like if you get a sports card graded, I had that stupid Kobe card graded for just north of a year.
Yeah,
and it lost so much of its value from when I sent it in to when I got it back that it wasn't even worth sending in anymore.
And they'll tell you on that website for the cards, it's a year plus now.
They don't even have the minimum service. It's like $300 a coin. I've got our card. I've got like 15 Tom Brady rookie cards that I've double checked. They're all PSA 7, 8. Maybe there's a 9. There's no Gem 10s, but the value. I'm going to spend 20% the value of the card just in the grading fees. And I'm like, you know what? I could sell it raw. And I know it still looks like an 8 or a 9. So it's not even worth it anymore.
Yeah.
5, Fred K with the 5. Thank you so much. He says, love the live stream. We really appreciate that, Fred. Thank you. You know, it's not just grading though. Like everything's really far behind. My wife has her 2020 Jeep Cherokee is having start-stop issues. You know how it shuts off at the light? And I called to get warranty service on it, and it's a 2.5 month wait to get it in.
That's ridiculous. And you're right. Everything is behind. I have a cousin who's 11 months pregnant.
Did I say 2020 Jeep? I meant gold-plated Lambo. That's right. Yeah, you know.
We're like, when are you going to have this baby? It's soon.
Soon. We're waiting for some parts to come in.
Yeah, we're waiting for some parts. Hubby said they didn't see the parts on the ultrasound, so they're going to wait a little bit longer.
Edward Lee says, I'm going to a coin show this Saturday. Should I expect to see lower than 20 face for junk silver or silver so low? I don't know. What did you guys see for junk silver prices at the show, guys, that you were just at?
For junk, when I asked around, 90% of the tables were 19, 20 times face. There was some tables at 18 and 17, and there was some, pick $1 or $2 worth out for melt. There's a lot of variety, but typically if I was buying, most of it was 19 and 20 is what I saw.
Yep.
Do you guys invest in any other assets like crypto, trading card, stamps? Yes, except for crypto. I know Rob invests in crypto, but
I have a DCA order every week in crypto right now. I've been having that for 2 years, and I have a ton of sports cards. I have a lot of vintage sports cards from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and then of course I have a lot of stuff when I collected with my son when he was growing up. So I have a lot of good rookie cards from 2000 to 2015, and then he grew up and stopped doing cards. So I have those, and I have the vintage stuff. And then I had comic books, but I sold 90% of my collection recently to feed my coin desire.
I want to give a shout out to Alan Begelman for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much for that. As far as other collectibles, I invest. I like Magic the Gathering cards, so like collectible cards like that I'm into as well. I'm not a crypto fan. I think you guys are very well aware of that, but it's good that we have one of them here. One guy here that is Mr. Rob. So that's cool.
Yep.
Let's see. What about you, Keith and Raven? I didn't even include you. Sorry. Go ahead. Raven, anything else?
You go first.
I got a little bit of a Pokemon collection. I got football and baseball cards that, have some value that I'm holding on to. I also collect, old antique toys and different little trinkets like that, knives, a couple older, pew-pews, so to speak, that are pretty nice. But no crypto for me. Definitely gold and silver as much as I can. And numismatic coins, of course, as well.
And Bill.
What about you, Mr. Keith?
Oh, yes, bills.
Crypto sucks. I could never get behind it because I couldn't see nothing there. You can make money in it if you're in and out, but a lot of people say it's good for the long term. I just don't see it. As far as what I'm into, gold, silver, collectible coins, yes, by all means. And I do dabble, diddle, whatever you want to call it, with the stock market.
Awesome.
It's mostly in my Roth. And
I do that too. I have stock market, but I like to diversify everything. So that's
all of mine
only a crypto piece because I have a lot of business friends from when I used to work for corporate America that will give me information on what they think, and so I do a little. It's a small buy every week, but it's something I do just so I feel like I'm even more well-rounded and diversified.
That's fair, and I have stuff in stock as well, so I just didn't even think about that because that's just.
Bacardi Jim says he collects debt.
That's another thing I feel like I collect. I love
Chai Sherman says that I collect old bottles of booze because I never open them in the first place.
Hey, they're worth a lot more when they're aged.
That's fair. So, guys, listen, we're 2 minutes past. We always do this for an hour, so we're going to go ahead and call it there. I don't think I missed very many questions. The questions slowed down near the end. That's awesome because that means we were catching everyone's questions. But if I did miss your question, I do apologize. And, guys, thank you so much. I want to start rounding it down. Well, first off, holy smokes, Flying Tiger with the $10 super chat says silver spot under $19, but major online dealers charging almost 60% over spot for U.S. Eagles at $31.21 each. Is gold better at this point? Flying Tigers, then Silver Eagles, yes, in my opinion. Of course, just my opinion. But I don't buy Silver Eagles because of that reason. So we spoke earlier in the stream. If you want to watch it back later, we spoke earlier in the stream, and I straight up said that I'm avoiding Eagles, and most of the people here agreed with me as much as they could. So, except for Keith, who has to because of what he does, but you get my point.
I'm just a guy.
He's just a guy. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and call it out here. We're going to start it out with Raven Hawk Coins, my man, the myth and legend. And guys, do me a favor. If you haven't been to Raven's channel yet, down below of the stream, you can actually click his name where it says at Ravenhawk Coins. Go to his channel and subscribe. He definitely has an awesome channel and would appreciate you guys being over there. So thank you for that. Raven, take us out of here, man.
And watch the Buffalo Nickel video.
And watch the Buffalo Nickel video, yes.
Well, thank you for that, Seeker. I appreciate it, my friend. And I always have a great time on these. The hour goes by so fast, to be honest. And it's like almost kind of weird, where they say time flies when you're having fun. Another big shout out to Rob and Sherlani for being such awesome hosts. I had a great time. It's a trip I'll never forget, and I'm looking forward to the next time. And hopefully next time we actually get to fish, because it should be some nicer weather.
If you would have stayed the extra day and didn't steal my belt, we could have gone.
All right.
Right on.
So next up, I'm going to have Rob give us a little bit on his way out. What's up, Mr. Rob? And same thing, guys. Make sure you click Rob's name and go give him that sub love.
Appreciate that. No, you know what? I had a lot of fun, and I think we've only had Keith on one other time, maybe two other times. Keith, how many times have you been on with us?
This, I think, is my second time.
Second time. You know what? I had a good time with Keith on. He seemed to it seemed to be enjoyable with him. Sometimes we've had guests and we're like, now what do we say? But it went really well. So I had a good time tonight. I do miss Seeker. He's been ghosting me on the weekly text or phone calls the last couple of weeks. He's been busy though. And but I got the Seeker love from Raven, so I'm happy with that.
I'm going to be honest. And I actually talked to Raven about this before even Rob got in before the stream. I've been a little burnt out lately. There's no question about it. I had a lot of trouble keeping myself motivated. So I need to get over that hump. I think it's that post vacation. Like I enjoyed vacation so much. I wish that's all I ever did.
Hey, you know what? And you've been grinding the last year harder than the first couple of years for sure. So
right.
It does do that. But anyway, I knew there was something there. But either way, I had a fun time. Good having Keith. Always fun with Raven and Seeker. And thank you guys very much for having me again.
Awesome. And guys, finally, and before we go, down below me is Keith from the Coin Crew. We're going to kick him out of here. So thanks for coming. I'm just kidding.
I get around a seat for that.
He's almost at 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys aren't subscribed to him, same thing down below. There is a link to his channel. Go show him that love. And Keith, we'll let you have the last word and then we'll call it. Go ahead, man.
Word. No, seriously. I do got to get over there and check out Raven's Buffalo video. You guys talked about it before the stream. I am curious. It just sounds awesome. I want to thank everybody who came tonight, and I am very humbled to be here again. And if you guys want me up, just holla. I'm around, and maybe I'll get that 5,000 soon.
Better Buffaloes just subscribed. You've got some really nice Buffaloes, Raven.
Rock on, guys.
Hey, Keith, 5,000 is a big number, man. I hope you hit it.
Yeah,
wait a minute. We didn't, Keith. You're like literally what, 75 away or 50, 65 away from 5,000?
Yeah. What is your current number?
429. We started the stream. I was I forgot the 9, didn't I? 4929. We started the stream at 4924.
All right, I'm going to put before we go. I'm going to slap this link in here. We got 270 people that haven't left yet.
Maybe we can get to 5,000. Maybe not. I see a lot of people here that are sub to the channel.
What happens at 5,000 exactly, Keith? You got. I know you have a big party going on, but what happens?
Yeah, it's going to be on a Tuesday night. Is when the party's going to be. We're going to hold 5,000 for 1 week, and at 1 week, then we will announce the date of the 5K party. Lots of people. I don't want to name all their names on there because it'll take too long. Have sent in donations. There's gold on the wheels. There's going to be gold. There's going to be silver. There's going to be lots of merch. Mrs. Coin Crew went crazy on merch, and you guys were down at Grove. You seen all that merch?
Yeah, she went.
There was still more coming. She went crazy, and we're giving away a bunch of that too.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun.
Well, you just went from 4.93 to 4.95.
Wow, that's
awesome.
20. Yeah, let's refresh it and see what happens again.
Cool.
Getting closer.
That's right.
Getting closer, yeah. We're almost there.
Arid extra dry.
All right, well, let's go ahead and grind it out here. Guys, listen, thank you again so much for joining. We will see you live in 2 weeks. Is it on Rob's next?
Yes.
Yes. We will see you live in 2 weeks on Rob's unless things blow up in our face. So that's awesome.
Gary S. Keith said he'll subscribe to you once you hit $49.99, not a minute earlier.
Oh, he wants to be that 5,000.
Yeah.
I understand.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you guys in the next one. You guys are awesome. Peace.
Peace.